Hi everybody, welcome to this episode of Enlightenment Today. I'm Jason. In this episode of Enlightenment Today, I'm going to talk about the feeling of being worthy and why it is wrong to feel worthless. Trying to feel worthy is common among all cultures and societies. We are all trying to prove our worth to others. We want to be accepted by others. We'll do anything to feel as though we are needed by the world. We'll continually chase our tail to try and be successful in the eyes of others. We're essentially putting on an act for the world to try and establish our worth. But why do we feel the need to be someone else to please the world? Why are you not fine just the way you naturally are? The bigger question to address these concerns, is it normal to feel unworthy? So basically what I'm going to address is why we feel the need to be worthy, and is that attitude even sane? We are trained from birth to try and develop ourselves to a point that we have worth and are of value to the world. Our parents teach us this, perhaps unknowingly, and also our school education drills this into us. In response, we live our lives trying to please our parents and then also try to showcase our educational worth when we are thrust into society as an adult. The cycle of trying to feel worthy never seems to end. This is a big trap. Our whole lives are molded by the external standards of how people judge another's worth. So a lot of our insecurities of feeling unworthy are driven by a model of worth which is socially accepted. If we become someone in business making a lot of money, then people feel this individual is worthy. If you become the President of the United States, then of course, according to social standards, you have established yourself as someone in the world. But isn't it funny that both of these examples of the business individual and the US president are built on the fact that those individuals are driven by what society believes is worthy? The real fact of the matter is that whoever is listening to this episode is as worthy as the president or anyone else we hold in high esteem. Don't get me wrong, I'm not implying that a president should be held in high esteem, it's just an example. In truth, no one is more worthy than anybody else. The only reason we believe that someone in a position of so-called prominence and someone with fame and wealth are more worthy than anybody else is because of our socially accepted beliefs on what is valuable. These set of worth values are insane and drive people insane, chasing fairy gold promoted by these external standards. We believe that someone living a simple life content with not much possessions, doing nothing, who doesn't make a lot of noise or drama is worthless, and they should be out there trying to prove themselves to the world. How could they have value if they're just sitting around doing nothing? But isn't the individual doing nothing living life the way they want and not influenced by external concerns to showcase their worth? Yes, they are. They are not influenced by what the world thinks of them. They are not insecure. Actually, when we peel away these external standards of worth, then you really have no true obligation to society. You only feel you should be worthy because that's how you've been indoctrinated. You have no obligation to society. Who made up this rule? The truth is, our fear and insecurity of becoming different to the norm is why we establish this illusionary rule. We are frightened to be who we truly are without trying to prove our worth. We feel that just being who we naturally are is worthless. We think, I should be somebody, I should do something to be remembered by. I should get that job, become a star athlete or a famous actor, or finish my degree to make my parents proud. We're in this repetitive cycle of trying to prove ourselves. We jump from one thing to another to prove our worth in the hope that we stick out from the crowd. And people are fooled into believing this is normal. We gear our whole life to this tune, and it is a complete charade. First of all, why are you trying to prove yourself? And more importantly, who are you trying to prove yourself to? Your parents? Your friends? Society? The reason we try to prove ourselves to the world is we feel insecure just being who we are naturally. We fear being nobody because the world continues to tell you to be somebody special. Trying to prove yourself is a primitive behavior we haven't shook off through evolution. This is pack mentality, where we act exactly the same as everyone else while we try to establish our value to the pack by following its rules and beliefs. As a result, we are terrified to be nobody special and stand on our own 2 feet without being influenced by modern culture. There actually is no need to prove yourself. That is only your primal fears and insecurity kicking in. You fear not being accepted by others, and you fear that if you don't establish your worth, then you won't be respected or loved. But this feeling of being accepted is based on our view of how other people perceive us. We want everybody to accept us and love us for who we are, but then we realize that both people's acceptance and love are based on how valuable we are to society and essentially their own selfish idea of who we should be. This is a real insane attitude we have developed. But let's flip this around. Shouldn't your parents, friends, and the world accept you for who you are? Why do you have to do something that people supposedly value for them to be proud of you? People should be proud of you as you are. And a world built on this model is fundamentally insane, producing insane people. To counter this insanity, I have to reassure you of an obvious fact you are not aware of. You are worthy. You are naturally worthy. You don't have to earn it like a badge of honor. Our judgment of worth has been skewed by what is socially accepted as valuable and successful. So what we believe is having worth is only a feeling that the world has accepted according to its own values. The worth you aspire for is not real worth. It's just a way of proving yourself to others, which means you're really only succumbing to your own insecurity and fear. To feel unworthy then is not normal. It is an insane feeling that we should not lean into. Everybody has been duped by this feeling. Well, if you want to reclaim who you are, then you need to shake off this feeling. It's driven by external standards that everybody unknowingly agrees upon. The truth is, worth is something you already have. Worth is intrinsic. Our unnatural feeling of worthlessness, ironically, eclipses our real worth. You are worthy. The world told you different because majority of the world is still in the primal attitude of proving oneself to others. Remember to stop and pause when you have that feeling that you want to prove yourself to others. You know that feeling. I'll show them, you watch me. You don't have to feel this way. If people don't accept you for who you are, then that's their problem. Besides, how you choose to prove yourself is dictated by socially accepted beliefs of value that are flawed. You have to always bring it back to the real feeling that you are worthy, regardless of what you've accomplished in your life. Reinforce that feeling. I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy. Make it a mantra when unnecessary feelings of worthlessness arise. You don't have to be insecure or fear what the world thinks of you. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody. If the world doesn't like you in your original state, then the problem resides in them. You don't have to chase your tail trying to show your worth to others. Actually, it's ironic because when you understand that you are truly worthy, then you will live your life from the heart, and this is the true value in the world.